Okay, so we've got um, this is another episode on Black and African history. Um, for this episode, we're just going to talk about all the tribes that we're going to mention, and once this is finished, it's going to have everything in chronological arrangement and stuff. And in PowerPoint, it's super easy to just swap things over. It makes things way quicker. Um, so, I mean, I guess when you go to the Kush people can be considered their own people in a way, but it's hard. Like how like if a person didn't have haplocodes and stuff, like how do they form distinctions and stuff? Um, I mean, you could definitely use a common language and customs for sure, for sure. This is um, this is definitely unifying in human groups and stuff. Um, Genetic origin for this continent is hard to find because it's extremely, extremely genetically diverse. Um, Basically all of the genetics of the human race around the world, are in Africa. So it's yeah. So you can't really use like dominant genetics or express genetics, express phenotype and stuff. Um, Now I don't really talk about genetics a lot, but you have dominant and recessive genes, or um, it expressed in dormant genes, counter genes, uh, gene mutations, gene variations and stuff, um, uh, phenotypic expression to consider. Um, yeah, so there's that, and I don't I don't know how far I'm going to go into the topic of genetics, so it's not that interesting. Um, all right, right. So we have the Dahomey people, we have the Fuda Oro, the Sosa. I, you know, where do you find how to pronounce this? I don't know. Exosa, Sosa, whatever. Hausa people, Hutu people, the Tutsi and Watusi and stuff. The Tutsi and Watusi were actually, as a fun fact, not so fun really. They were, I believe, artificially distinguished by the Dutch and stuff. Originally, they were one people, but they separated them by their express phenotype, and basically taught them that the I think it was the Tutsi and stuff were superior and stuff, leading to constant warfare and whatnot. It was part of a colonization tactic. Um, the Mende people, Tende people, the Igbo and stuff. I believe these people are native to Nigeria. I'm not sure. They certainly are there for sure. The Mandinka and Mandingo, famous for exactly the reason you think. Um, the Beta Israeli of Africa, Black Jews of Ethiopia, stuff. So the Zulus. Um, oh yeah, we have the eras too. Um, okay, so the Garamantes, the African Maori, the Libu, the Meshwesh, Draconians, Sao, Tangodogo, the Twa, the Congo, Azanian, Cushitic, Aksumide, the Ixam. Um, Studying them will put you to the test. Uh, yeah, laughed at my own joke. Homani, the Ora, Kepa, Hoi Hoi, and Griqua. Griqua. Um, the okay, so did I add anything new? Okay, so there's that.